2026 January. We've already gotten what I would say are three of the best January horror movies I've seen in my lifetime. This is the follow-up to last year's 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I don't know why this was split into two movies. I don't know why this wasn't just 28 years later.
It would have been a long-ass movie if they didn't split it.
Our friend Devon and his buddies over at Spectre Cinema Club, his friend Garrett was talking about 28 Years Later and said it will go down in history as the best zombie movie ever made.
Ever.
Could not disagree more. Not a good take.
I loved it.
Garrett has great takes. Devon has great takes. He was talking about how it's going to be this watershed moment.
No.
I was thinking about that listening to the Year End pod, and then I saw Bone Temple, and I was like, let me think back. I was struggling to remember even 4 scenes or moments from that movie. I remember giant dicks, the bridge assault, somehow they control magically crows, and Ray Fiennes. That's what I remembered from that movie.
I totally forgot about
nothing
the crow.
else in that movie.
The crow part, they didn't ever.
Yeah, nothing else registered to me at all. Well, it did, because when they were doing the Shire scene, the crows were flying overhead.
What about the beautiful scene where the mother is put down and he has to?
Spike has
to put her.
You know what's crazy? Must not have registered with me at all. Didn't remember that at all until they showed the skull atop the tower, and I go, "Oh, that's where his mom went." Oh, I had forgotten 28 years later. I actually think it's kind of a snooze. The further I am away from
this movie, it is
compared to this movie, and this is what I'm saying. This is a movie that actually felt more like what 28 years after such an enormous apocalypse would feel like. People are weirder, things are stranger. The first one felt a little like it's just doing kind of a Walking Dead riff, which we've already seen, with a little extra lore of the alphas and whatever.
The first one was just kind of like putting you in this new world. Like I didn't realize it was a trilogy. So the first movie I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it's basically setting you up for this whole new world 28 years after.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is that's what they thought they were doing. It feels like almost every zombie movie you've ever seen. They're playing the same playbook of survivors. They've got a little camp. They've got walls they can't breach. Yeah. It's all the same zombie stuff we've seen. Coming of age in zombies. It's Coral, right? It's all the shit we've seen on all of
the exact same. It's much more.
No, it's not the exact same. It's a really well-made version of that. But narratively, nothing new added to the zombie playbook, essentially, except for alphas. Which, again, it seems like they just played the board game Zombicide and just did that.
Honestly, that's not even really new because wasn't Queen of the... Or what was the one where they had the Queen zombie? And she like took over Las Vegas?
Oh, right.
Army of the Dead.
I love Army of the Dead.
Yeah, dude, that movie was awesome.
Anywho, what I thought about this one, right, is that I thought this one found the things that were the most interesting about 28 Years Later and just made an infinitely better movie. This felt like if you had added a 20-minute tag at the start, that it's just way better. And you could have just cut all that extra fluff that to me now I would consider 28 years later.
You're calling 28 years, 2025 28 years later fluff.
Yes.
Well, you wouldn't
I'm calling it fluff because 6 months later, I don't remember a single fucking scene from that movie.
You knew enough to know what's going on in this movie, though.
I knew enough to know that Ray Fiennes, I knew who Ray Fiennes was.
And you know who Spike was.
I knew who Spike was. Again, Spike is by far the worst and least interesting character in this movie.
Agreed.
Doesn't fucking matter to the story at all. His arc of like, I'm a scared boy in the world, you could have just thrown that shit out.
I think it would have been too disorienting if I love the opening of this movie.
Yeah.
You're telling me the last 28 years or whatever in this franchise that I saw was 28 weeks later. And how many years? Like 15, 20 years later? That's the first scene that we see. That doesn't work.
Why does that not work? That's exactly what this one... the other one started 28 years later. That's the motif of the thing.
The prelude in that movie is the little kid, they're watching Teletubbies, the rage zombies break through. He has to go to the church. I mean, that felt connected.
Why couldn't you do that? Because we still start this movie with the Jimmies. We could have done that and actually tied the Jimmy story to this one.
So you're saying just cut out Spike and the mom.
What I'm saying is cut out Spike, the mom, and the village, which we've seen 1,000 times.
Cut out the first
Start with the kid who's watching Teletubbies. He sees his dad, the vicar, get eaten. And then watch him leading this fucking, Fight Club style fight to the death. That's a better movie. That's better than having another extra movie that kind of softened what I thought of the franchise before this one.
They're both really good movies. So
they're both fine movies.
Wrong with having two great movies?
The problem is that this movie is exceptional. 28 years later, I don't know that I'll ever go back and watch that movie again.
Why is that a problem, though?
It's not a problem. I'm just saying, why not put the resources into making, 280 years later? I don't know what comes next in this.
Because they basically shot 2 movies for the price of one, and now they're making
what I'm saying is
double the box office.
What are you, a communist?
One of them is I'm not a communist because I wish.
You're sounding like a communist.
What I'm saying is that one of them was trading on my nostalgia for the franchise. Looking back at it, why give me the lesser watered down version of the movie that I'll never watch again instead of giving me this fucking movie that actually has the title 28 years later instead of the fucking Bone Temple or whatever the fuck. I do not
understand this argument. You got the movie, a great movie, so what's the complaint?
I got one great movie. And one average ass movie that took the title that I wish this one had. I wish this was just called 28 years later. To be fair, you only had
to wait 3 months, so it's not that big of a deal.
That is true. It came fast.
Also, horseshit, go back and listen to our episode. We were raving about it.
Right, because I didn't know we were immediately going to get the better version. This is exactly what Stranger Things is going through, where we all watched the series finale and we're like, man, that fucking sucked. It sucks so bad that the internet came together and wrote the most incredible fan theory ever by just highlighting all the mistakes and bad writing to the point where the conspiracy was so crystal clear, the conformity gate, that I was showing Amy videos on TikTok and I was like, this cannot just be ineptitude. Whoa. This cannot be bad writing and bad art directing.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
So,
me either.
This is the Stranger Things, right? The series finale ended. It was so bad. It was so fucking bad. And then the internet started going through and like, well, this thing changed. The door was opening the other way. There's all these like continuity errors. There's all these weird decisions. There's like the guy Hopper died in season 3 in like a fucking mall fire. Next thing you know, he's just back and he's a cop. Yeah. He's like, whatever. All these things, you're like, that's just bad writing. That's weird, bad writing. That's bad art designing. And everyone was like, it's so bad that what really happened is all the characters are trapped in the fantasy and we're going to get a secret final finale where they're going to reveal it was all a trap and then the real fight's going to happen. The episode we all thought we deserved. And they had to come out and be like, no. And then they released a documentary on season 5 of Stranger Things. And it's just clear that they had no fucking clue what was happening and they were behind schedule. And it just...
Which is usually the case.
It was just shitty. That's exactly what this movie is.
What?
28 years later was the finale we thought we were going to get. And then there was a hidden better story afterwards. Bone Temple is the conformity gate we will never get with Stranger Things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Bone Temple's better, though.
Bone Temple is better on every level of storytelling than 28 years later.
Why is this a complaint? I mean, what's wrong with an evolution that improves upon
Why not take all the vast resources for 28 years later and the title, which I do think matters, and give it to this movie?
Actually, a little bone, if I will, to pick with you on that. The title, if you go see the film, yes. If you go to IMDb,
it's 28 years later,
that's
Bone
marketing.
Temple.
That's marketing. The movie is the Bone Temple.
Right. When the title card comes up in the movie, it's Bone Temple in some kind of weird hipster font. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm. I just don't know why I had to sit through the boring version to get to this one. I liked it because I didn't know we were going to get more. So you're like, if that's all we ever get again for the 28.
They wanted to give you a little backstory on Ralph Fiennes.
Here's what I'll tell you I don't need. Yeah, Ralph Fiennes. Having seen them both, I don't need those 2 hours of pre-story. All the story I wanted was in this movie.
Man,
I just didn't know it.
You may be turning me over to you. I kind of agree. Like, you could have cut out, what is his name? The dude that married the old lady in the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
who were Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah. Who were any of the characters in the first one?
Cut those people.
What was the value of the village? What was the value of anything from the first one?
I agree, man. I think you could cut all that out.
Sometimes the world comes and it says, we fucked up. We made a mistake. Here's the better version.
But to Heath's point, it was fun to watch it. It was still a cool story.
I like that movie. I can't believe we're using this great movie to litigate a movie that was also very good. What's the matter?
It was completely average.
So you got 2 good movies.
I got a very average movie that took the title I wanted this to have.
Okay.
This is a weird bone to pick.
Very.
But I was mad in the theater that I had to sit through 28 years later to get to
Can we now start talking about this movie?
Would love it. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Which I loved. Which I adored.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Just because you guys are fine wasting 2 hours of your life, you don't have, children and hobbies, that's fine.
Wasting.
And it's like $30.
Wasting. Yeah. I'm here to tell you on record that now it is a waste of my time. And we did a pod on it. That's like 4 hours wasted. So, Sam, what were you thinking as 28 years later, Bone Temple started?
I liked it just as much as I liked the last one. But it had the same exact issues, man. Like, I don't like these I don't know if you want to call it like an epic tale, but like I don't need to know all these little tiny stories. I just wanted to know about the Jimmies, and everything else I was like, I don't need to know the shit. Like the woman and the pregnant woman, like they had all these characters that are just like snapshots into their life, which I think is supposed to,
it's more realistic.
It's more realistic, right? But also, you don't know what happens with her. Like, why is she even in the movie?
Well, I think she becomes the counterpoint to us of what the Jimmies are doing. It's to illustrate and highlight the kind of misguided carnage that the Jimmies are dealing out.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, I don't get that because she seems just like the Jimmies. She leaves.
She's not. She's literally just out foraging mushrooms.
Yeah, but she leaves her friend to die.
Right. Some middle-aged guy's like, don't worry, I'll pull a Stallone. And he gets caught. You're not going to let your baby get eaten because this fucking guy did 5 extra crunches that morning.
But that scene's written for a reason. It's to signify that everybody is kind of like the Jimmies. Everybody is kind of out for themselves.
Everyone is a little bit like
spectrum.
The Jimmies.
Yeah,
the Jimmies are doing it for pure torture and carnage. She's doing it to save herself and the people in her town.
Well, they seem like they're doing it for pure torture, right? But they're also, I'm assuming they're gathering supplies. Like they're doing this for a reason.
If I had, a small quibble. My quibble with the first movie aside, right? Really the only actual problem I have with this movie is that the Jimmies are so boring and uninteresting. I actually think the Jimmies are the worst part of the movie. And again, the Jimmies also don't feel like a group that would actually have made it 28 years in this wasteland.
Well, that is kind of true.
Most of them aren't that old.
But that's what I'm saying. What are they? They're all fucking 16 to 20. So like they've been around.
I wish that the main Jimmy.
None of these kids make it 10 years in this apocalypse. Just going from site to site, fighting hardened adults who have been killing things for fucking 28 years.
And Jimmy Crystal needed to be a little bit more impressive.
Yeah, and Jimmy Crystal never had his like, I'm going to show everyone why I'm the leader of the gang moment.
Exactly. He never had that moment where it's like, this is how he survived.
Yeah, and Jack O'Connell, incredible. Like back-to-back years with just incredible, mind-blowing performances. No problem with the performance. I think we're supposed to take it that through his flourishes and his words, he's kind of like mind-locked all of them.
He's kind of charismatic.
He needed a scene where he fucking laid the smackdown on someone. Because there's no part of me that for a second believes these people... The Islanders we saw in the first one have fucking fortifications. They have guards. They have huge guns. These kids are walking around with like little knives doing parkour and shit.
Well, and they're like,
and they've lost all their fucking ninjutsu we saw at the end of the first one.
They're kind of badasses. Like they're good fighters, right?
Right.
But Jack O'Connell never shows that he's a good fighter.
Well, like here's the thing: they're just going from place to place. They're out in the wild. They don't have a fortress or a home base. How have they survived alphas for 20 years? 50, let's even say 10 years. There's no way these kids have made it 10 years in this
Everything that you need to know about pretty much the whole movie is explained in that last scene. Do we want to spoil it now?
Sure. Spoilers for everything in the movie.
So Cillian Murphy returns, and he's giving a lesson to his daughter, who's, I guess, studying for a homeschool test.
Yeah. That kind of sucks. The world ends and you start to deal with like bullshit high school assignments.
Like economics.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's giving her a lesson about the fall of fascism post World War II and uses the Churchill quote, we're doomed to repeat history if we forget it. And we see that whole thing play out in the representation of the Teletubby gang, because he's a charismatic fascistic leader who has brainwashed these impressionable, dumb. They're not very bright, except for the one main girl, Kelly, we find out her name is. You don't have to look very far in our current time for examples of this.
It was a nice Cillian Murphy's and that's when we defeated fascism. And it's like, oh, some things are better in the zombie apocalypse.
That's the point. That is the point of that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. We got kind of dinged on a comment the other day about this being a political podcast. I don't want to go down any rabbit holes.
Well, hey, first off, whoever Dan Doe 25 is, suck my dick. Horror is the most politically charged genre of any genre. It's impossible to untangle politics from horror.
You want to criticize Jimmy Crystal for not being enough of a hard ass to show everybody else that he's the biggest swinging dick in the group. What's Trump done? Have you seen him bitch slap anybody?
Right, but the first time you saw Trump shit his pants and fill it with McDonald's and Diet Coke squirts, when a zombie came, you'd no longer follow him.
That's the thing. It's
Trump
a
gets to pretend to be a strongman because he's in a world where he doesn't have to show strength.
Yeah.
What about the zombie apocalypse? You can't fake it.
Trump would not be the strong guy.
Huh?
What about Hitler?
There
what
were
about
no zombies,
Stalin?
if I remember
right. It's the same world, man. Like, in this world, I feel like the dude's like Negan.
Yeah.
Like Negan was a good example.
If you watch Walking Dead, everyone who heads those tribes has fucking murdered everyone in their past. They're like ruthless, brutal murderers.
I don't think there's any evidence that character doesn't have that
but they didn't show it at all. I assume there's no way he made it there without that.
Yeah. Right. We have to do the work to assume that. But it's like, if you're going to show them fucking cutting the flesh off of all these people and just being like, all of a sudden it's like, put on your Slipknot mask. We're going to do mass torture. He's got to fuck someone up. There's not a scene in the movie where one of his followers, because at the end, what's his beef with his dad? He's like, tell him to listen to my words.
Yeah.
He should have fucked someone up in that first scene.
Well, and I think all they would need to do is have one scene where someone challenges him and he just totally kicks their ass.
Yeah.
And that's all you'd need.
You see looks where they are obviously intimidated and scared. They think he's the son of Satan, whatever. I get it. I just think the Jimmies, for me, they were a weird addition to the end of the first movie. They're very out of place in this world. This movie, to me, kind of deepened and exposed that I don't, because that's kind of the weird tonality shifts between the two. I also thought was weird how freely the Jimmies move around.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else in the two movies has to like creep and crawl, and the Jimmies just are able to walk around and not deal with alphas and magical crows.
Yeah, the rules like don't they scream? Like, remember when the pregnant lady in their group get that guy, and then the one screamed, and then they all came around.
They always scream, but then she sees the one and is able to just do like a roll slice.
Dude, I was like, she's fucked.
Now
she's gonna scream
again. I think this is another thing where the script is asking us to do work, where maybe because the alpha is just out doing a Cheech and Chong, they're less activated.
They're less active, yeah.
Yeah, they're listening to Grateful Dead.
Right, so maybe that's what happened, but then we see another zombie attack. So I'm a little confused again, the two worlds don't combine. And it makes the Jimmies feel like, hey, isn't this just fun that we're doing a kids in tracksuit Slipknot thing? But it doesn't feel like it fits in this world. I never buy into it for a second.
They are supposed to be rogue agents.
Right, but I don't believe they exist.
Yeah.
I don't believe these kids would be alive.
Well, like, for instance, okay, so take the first house that they encounter, right?
Yeah.
How did they get in? So the audience is treated to the fact that they show back up to the house and they're already in there, right? They wouldn't have ever gotten in there. Like, they have fortifications.
They would have to have a sentry. They all
they
have
would
guns.
have sentries, yes.
That's what I mean. It's just
everybody in this world is a badass.
It's this like hinting at intimidation that I don't buy. And again, Jack O'Connell's incredible. He's 5'8" and like 120
he's
pounds.
Little. They're all little.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it for a second. And again, there was a weird thing there with the costumes, though. Do you guys know who Jimmy Savile is?
Yeah.
So this is something I thought in the first one, because they were all wearing the wigs in that opening Fight Club scene. I was like, what a weird, stupid fucking thing. Mm-hmm. So I saw this Netflix documentary years ago, and I'm sure this is exactly what it's meant to be. But there's this guy, Jimmy Savile. He was like a huge celebrity for being a celebrity. He was top of the pops, right? So he's like in with all these big music acts at the time. He's a huge star in Britain.
Yeah.
He was with all the Beatles, all these famous bands, right? Then he did this show, Jimmy'll Fix It, right? Where he'd run around and help people out with their problems. He would do charities. He did this like Forrest Gump run across the UK. And everyone loved this guy. So for over 50 some years.
They loved a guy with a haircut like that?
Yeah, he looked like a fucking dipshit, right? It was part of his charm. He was like an everyman. For over 50 some years, this guy was accused of over 400 rapes, maybe more. He would volunteer at hospitals. They think he was diddling like invalids in the hospital that couldn't get away from him. The ages of the victims range from 5 to in their 50s.
Jeez.
And this guy just died before he ever faced consequences for it. So with the Jimmies, I put in this like, because he said his name was Jimmy Crystal. I thought they were going to go right into it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this was the, hey, we're like everymen, nice people on the surface. Mm-hmm. But then they mixed in the Teletubby metaphors. Again, I just think the Jimmies were muddy and weird. They have this religious
there might
backstory
be some sort
that
of
didn't
cultural,
work for me.
There might be some sort of cultural.
Yes, this could be like a British thing versus like that I'm just not. But I had seen that Netflix doc, so I picked it up. Again, I just think because the Ralph Fiennes stuff sings in this. It's like watching an opera. It's beautiful and perfect. And while Jack O'Connell's good, everything with the Jimmies just was not.
I had a question about the Teletubbies thing. Yeah, before I forget. Mm-hmm. So he had that scene where he talks about how they have a TV in their stomach and it's looking at the stomach, and then inside that
ad infinitum. Yeah,
ad infinitum. What is that? What do you think that means? Like for the story? Like, does that mean anything?
I don't. I think maybe it's that they're looking at their look and their gang through the eyes of others, and so what is the true self? Again, it's one of those things I'm like, maybe to British people that like Teletubbies more than me. I was not in the demographic that watched Teletubbies. Poignant. Yeah, I don't think it had any value to the story.
Yeah, they kind of puzzled me.
Except for this like weird childlike, it's like an ominous children's show.
Yeah.
Like there have been remakes and edits of Teletubbies that make it look very dark and evil. So maybe it's just that like saccharine coating to like a really gross group of people.
But does this stuff stop you guys in your tracks? Does it bring the movie to a screeching halt? To me, the questions just make it more intriguing.
Well, but it makes me wonder why. Like, but if nothing pays off with that,
that's the problem. Yeah. It does pay off in a really cool, like, wait, we think this old guy's actually Satan. That's like gonna be one of the scenes of the year for me. That was so great. That
scene is amazing. But the Teletubby thing, I don't get why that's in the movie.
It's one of those. It's like they didn't do a lot narratively in the first one. I don't think there was any way they were rolling this one out, and it was just gonna be the Doctor and Samson. There's no way they were just gonna do an hour and a half of that.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a way better movie.
Without,
like I didn't get much out of the Jimmies, and the torture stuff doesn't add anything for me.
The Samson thing, I got nothing out of.
Oh, see, I fucking adored it. It was the only kind of interesting new zombie thought I thought the movie had.
Yeah, in a zombie movie, the one thing I don't give a shit about is zombies becoming humans again. Like that's the last thing I want to know. Like
I thought it was kind of cool. Again, I don't think
it's not a zombie movie.
It's not zombies. It's a virus.
It's a virus.
And a virus can be cured theoretically.
Yes. But also, like, if it's a zombie virus, the last thing I want to know about is the cure for it.
They should have consulted you before they wrote this.
Anti-vax, anti-mask, Sam.
The thing that makes a good movie is action, romance, violence.
Whoa. Hey,
not
Hollywood,
curing.
I hope you're writing these down.
You know how many movies there have been about, like, the cure for polio? 0.
Right, but if the guy who was trying to cure polio was also making bone temples and doing drugs, I probably would watch that.
I mean,
this is the fourth movie in this series. You have to start going somewhere with it. You can't just repeat all these same beats.
Why not? People are being born every year. Just keep repeating it.
They did try it. In 28 weeks later, they went this route too with the cure, where they had built the city again. They thought they had containment, and they brought in. They found the girl who had 2 different color eyes.
Yeah.
And because of those 2 different color eyes,
she was immune.
She could be immune, and they'd harvest it. Of course, it doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. 28 years later eschews all that.
Yeah.
Again, I just thought the idea of this doctor, right, who's been building this, like, monument to death, right? When he even helps Samson at the start, and he pulls the arrows out, and he's like, no charge, I'm from NHS, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, he's do no harm, right? That's his oath.
Well, he's making life... palpable. He's like making it enjoyable.
Yes, and also is beautiful because in the tormentors who caused all the carnage of the monument he's building, he's looking for a shred of humanity. He's looking for a reason to keep going day after day in this never-ending task. The scope of his work in this one, I thought, really came through. Mm-hmm. Like selling that this guy's been doing this for fucking 28 years. You really start to feel the weight of how much that would chew on you.
I mean, to be fair, he spent a lot of time building those bone things. He could have been researching.
That is true. He sat down for like 10 minutes high to research, and he's like, I think I licked it.
I think I figured it out.
I did it.
I wasted all this time building these giant bone things, but I could have just...
Dude, if we just fucking do some opium, we can knock this thing out. He could have started that.
Hey, it could have been a project. Come on.
It could have been 28 months later, and this thing could have been beaten.
Yeah, it could have been 28 hours later.
That's a good point. Yeah. He does lick it pretty quick. Yeah. But again, I just thought there's kind of this poetic, beautiful version of the zombie tale where it's him and this zombie. The big addition they had to zombie mythology, which I don't feel like I'd seen before, is what do the zombies see? And again, these are not zombies by the definition of the word zombie. They are not animated re-dead. These are infected, essentially humans with rabies, right? Like Ben from Primate.
Right.
The idea that this virus was making them see demons.
Yeah.
And so they were violently lashing out at demons. I was like, no one got this disease and saw a demon and went, oh, fuck, and went and hid in a closet. Like, that's what I would probably do. I wouldn't be like, I better go fucking
that's
attack
a good point.
that thing with my bare hands.
Most of our fight and flight would be the flight part.
There should be way more flight than all fight.
You would think, but not necessarily with something that's called the rage virus. I don't think flight is necessarily.
I thought it was a weird thing, but it was a cool addition.
Yeah.
Right? That they see some kind of malevolent, and maybe what Samson sees is different from what everyone else sees. You see something
he is an alpha.
Yeah, incites this rage in you, right? And the only thing with the alpha...
This is the commentary on populism. That's the whole thing. It's the unwashed masses.
Here we go. Another 1-star review incoming.
Well,
go ahead, Chris Matthews.
But it's pretty upfront in your face. It is pretty upfront. By the end, where they have that scene.
Do you ever just sit back and admire these horror fans that never see a symbolism in any movies?
Right, I'm looking at one right there.
Hey, is it
I don't
awesome?
need symbolism, bro.
Is it awesome?
What?
Just not seeing symbolism or subtext in anything you've ever watched.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
There you go.
It feels like he's been cheated. I wish I would have paid $8
No,
for all these tickets.
Are you talking about at the end where he's like, of course we have to help her? That's the symbolism you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about
what symbolism are you talking about?
The victims of the rage virus
Yeah.
are basically the populist voters, if you will.
Facebook commenters, yeah.
Yeah, that
You got that from this movie?
that are victims of that are subjected to the victimization of the whatever the powerful force
The
is.
demonization of some other group.
And they're just there to wreak havoc because everything's fallen out of control. And so they're not necessarily the ones to blame. And I think the fact that we've seen it from their point of view, that they're not evil, they are just dealing with the consequence of what happened to them.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have an environment now where a group like the Jimmies can rise up and start to create a fascist army, which is clearly his goal.
Yeah, not one fist, but two, then five, then 10, then 1,000.
There's only 7 of them. But also,
For now.
on the other hand,
for now. We see how they spread.
on the other hand, Heath, it might just be a virus that turns people into these like rage.
You can read it that way, sure.
Okay.
That's
how
what
I'm
makes
gonna read
great movies, is that it works on multiple levels.
Yeah. And
It
again,
might just be a virus.
I don't know that it paid off in any way in the movie. I liked the idea of what these creatures are saying. What is their target? What's their goal beyond the classic zombie brains, right? These zombies had an extra layer of something. And that when he gives them the drugs, the idea that Samson becomes addicted to that. And he's like, oh, fuck, I don't feel the rage anymore. And he keeps seeking this doctor out to get his hit. Mm-hmm. And then the doctor in him is seeing something like maybe this will be the seed that rises from the ashes of society. And again, I think Ralph Fiennes is so many times we talk about the best actors ever. And you go to your obvious Daniel Day-Lewis's, whatever. I think he's equally as good as anyone who's ever lived.
Absolutely.
And just watching him go through it and dance, and when he hits the opium and he wakes up and he's like, I'm all intact, Samson. And watching the joy that he experiences
that was a risky
in this
move,
grotesque place. Exactly, it was, but that was
risky.
him having hope that he hasn't felt in years.
He's becoming sort of like a jacked Anthony Hopkins now to me. I think he's entering that elder statesman
I was
phase.
actually thinking this the other day. He's one of the old guys now, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's been old for a long time. Dude.
I feel like he's always been like the middle-aged guy, and now he's recently...
I think Red Dragon was the end of like middle-aged man, and then he's been old. Like Voldemort looks old.
Voldemort does look old.
But again, I think he's just so good. And again, watching him play this kind of the joy of hope, experimenting, right? Just sitting and finding communion with this alpha, right? Because that's the other... Again, I think the rage stuff doesn't work between these two movies. I think it's very much like The Force Awakens and whatever the second Star Wars was, where it's like it doesn't feel like these stories were written in tandem. They don't feel like they fit together that well. Because the rage virus took this young child, which we see, and mutates him to gargantuan size. He gets all these extra powers. He can commune with crows. He can control alphas, whatever the fuck his powers were in the first one. And then in this one, he's just like settled, and he's looking and he sees the moon. Like that scene was fucking beautiful. He's just like, moon. It was so great. But like film, I don't understand the powers of these zombies.
I don't know how literal it was. I guess you could read it. To me, I just took it more.
He literally controlled a flock of crows and all that in the first one.
It's a little bit more of a surrealist take.
That's why I'm saying I don't feel like these two were written in tandem per se, where it feels like they fit. Even though I think Alex Garland wrote both of them.
He did write both of them.
He did, yeah.
I don't know that they're that they don't fit. I think they're just from different perspectives.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, good thing they're two separate movies.
Shut up! Who gave him a mic?
They're in fact two separate movies. Okay, so then from your guys' perspective, who do you think the perspective of this movie was from?
Well, it was two. It was Jack O'Connell and Ralph Fiennes.
And also Samson. I think this one takes more of a global...
And Samson and Spike and the girl. Yeah, this is an ensemble piece. This is an Altman.
It is. Whereas the other one was from the kid's point of view.
I was talking about the two point of views that actually were interesting.
Yeah.
Are Jack O'Connell and Ralph Fiennes.
Because
it's hope and it's degradation. It's the hope and lack of hope. It's light and dark. Those are the 2 point of views in this movie that matter.
So you're saying that the Jimmies were
The Jimmies are the no hope. The Jimmies are.
I don't agree with this.
Yeah,
at all.
What do you mean?
The
Jimmies do not have hope.
I think they're just restructured.
Are you fucking out of your mind? Do you think the Jimmies represent hope?
In a different way. They restructured
the main Jimmy is a child who has clear mental illness because he watched his dad get eaten by zombies, right? He's rewritten this in his mind that his dad didn't get eaten, but was at the head of the flock. He was Satan himself.
His dad's,
He knows when he sees Ray finds that that's not his dad. That's not Satan. He's like, hey, man, you got to help me with the grift.
I don't know that, man.
The idea that he says, let's do charity, and he pretends to hear a voice in his head that he's not communing with.
You don't know that.
I know that.
No, you don't know that.
He's playing a fucking grift.
He admits it.
He at the end, though, he's like, how come I don't hear him anymore?
Yeah, dude, he's schizophrenic and he's hearing voices.
What I'm saying is he's not communing with Satan himself.
Yeah, but that's the thing is with crazy people, they think they are.
I think the movie
and I think
plays
that he might think that Ray Fiennes is
I think the movie
dad.
plays it a little fast and loose with that.
He's bought into his bullshit so much.
So, dude, I was thinking that too until he actually went down to talk to Ray Fiennes, and he has that conversation where he's like, I might be crazy, but are you the devil? No. He's believing that this guy could be the devil.
I think he's asking him because he's confused, and he's like, this will really fuck up my grift. That's how I saw it.
No, that's skeptical. That's the skeptical way to look at it. Because why would he have this like ability to like raise a cult like this? Like all this would be
because
real.
World has ended, and all he does is take fucking children who need a fucking shelter.
I know, but he thinks that this is real.
Hey, did you notice he doesn't have any like 40-year-old adults who have seen some shit in his army?
There aren't a lot of them left, really.
Well, yeah, because he keeps killing them and cutting their fucking tits off. But again, just look at the charity.
I don't get that from his character.
The idea of charity is that, and he wants to make an army, a 1,000-fist army, to give charity and cut flesh off and all this. The fact that you are destroying what little bit of humanity exists for a grift, that's not hope. That's dark. That's the end of the human condition.
That's why I don't think it's a grift in his mind. I think he actually thinks what he's doing is real.
I mean, all grifters do get to that point where they buy into their own bullshit enough to think that, oh, these people believe that I have the right answer, so maybe I will.
Another terrifying reality we deal with a lot. What I'm saying is that just because this mentally ill kid, whatever, even his Peter Pan-like fantasy is not rooted in a this is good for people mentality.
No, I'm not saying it's good for people, but he's saying that this is the hope is that the world needs to change and he's going to change it.
I don't think he's planning on changing it because he's not trying to build anything other than a force to go out and smash everyone else. When the 1,000-fist army destroys all the humans,
that's a huge
what do you
change.
think they do next? They kill each other.
No, the whole point is Satan wants...
That's not a change. That's just a different version of the hordes of rage zombies.
In his mind, Satan wants the entire world to be these rage virus zombies. And
Old
Nick wants this.
Not to be mixed with
and
producer
Nick. He's working on making that happen with his fingers.
Right. What I'm saying is, though, that is not rooted in a world that is going to fix anything or change anything. That is taking the carnage of the moment.
It will change something. It's not going to fix anything, but you're wrong about the changing. Right. If he kills everyone on Earth, that changes everything. So it changes it. I'm saying hope is not just rooted in change for change's sake. Hope is not dropping a bomb on a Japanese city and being like, we changed it. Hey, Griffey, what is hope for an evil person?
I don't know. I'm not an evil person. Are you?
What is hope for an evil person?
Are you an evil person, Sam?
Like, what was Hitler?
What do you hope
What was
for?
Hitler's hope?
Well, look, that's all just subjective morality. If you want to talk about an empirical morality,
that's kind of the point of the movie.
Then I don't think you can view it as hopeful whatsoever.
I think the point of the movie is a subjective.
No, the point of it is that this is a dystopian, apocalyptic future where all norms and institutions have been eradicated.
Yes.
And what rises up in that power vacuum? Yes. That's what it's exploring.
That's what we saw this with We Bury the Dead. The first 28 years later is very much like this. What do you put your faith in when there's nothing to have faith in anymore? Right? Ray Fiennes is putting his faith in, if I honor the dead, if I fix Samson, he has something that will matter and give it all credence and value. Some rays of sunshine. The fact that they're Satanists intentionally tells you they're just in a world of darkness and they're just spreading more misery. Mm-hmm. The power of cutting these guys' tits off somehow makes them feel alive in a way that is degraded.
They feel like they're honoring their God. And they feel like that this is the natural course.
That's the grift of it.
Oh, how is that a grift?
Because, I mean, a God can be a benevolent God. It can also be a vengeful God.
at least at some level, remembers being a small boy before everything went tits up.
Yeah.
He knows he's not actually the son of Satan. Has his psychosis
See, I don't
and the
think
Peter
so,
Pan
man.
fantasy of the world allowed him to play this
I
game
think
long enough?
if you ask
Sure.
the writer, he's going to tell you that Jack O'Connell thought he was the
Garland
son.
on the phone.
You can
Nick.
ask the writer all you want. What happens is you write something, you make something, you give it to audiences, and we get to write what we think it is.
Well, I'm telling you that I think that Jack O'Connell thought he was the son of Satan.
I don't agree.
I think he wished he was. I think deep down he knew he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is classic strongman behavior that they wish they were strong.
Well, then why-
but they're not.
Why would his last
then-
moment be, why can't I hear your voice anymore then?
Because he's fucking crucified and he's upside down and he's high on drugs. He's just saying whatever.
So
When he's high on drugs at the end is the least reliable he's been in the whole
When he's high
story.
on drugs at the end, he's trying to prolong the grift, even though no one can hear him.
When he's hung upside down and crucified at the end, it's over for him. Why not keep playing the character?
Desperation.
Well,
Why not write a better ending to your
Same question
story?
is, why keep playing the grift? Why not beg for help?
Because
or
what
something?
else? Who's going to help him? No one's there.
Well, then why?
And then he's high as fuck. He thinks Samson is actually Satan, which was fucking metal when he walked out with the horns and
The
shit.
horns
That
were
was
great.
so
Yeah.
cool. So because he was high as fuck, he's like, oh my God, I was right the whole time.
Yeah.
See, dude, I think you guys are thinking way more into this. Like, that's not what convinced him. I think he was convinced the entire time, and the fact that he was convinced was what allowed that image to appear in front of him. It's
Well, that's one way to read it, I suppose.
the fact that he convinced himself of that. He's actually a crazy person.
I think blood loss and all the blood you have left being in your brain and being high as shit
But why
makes
would
him
you,
an unreliable
Why would
narrative.
you do all that if you didn't believe it?
Because what else are you going to do?
You could. There's lots of easier ways to just grift and get to survive.
There's no easier grift in this time because your only grift is
There's no
you
easier.
have to be part of a society or you have to destroy
So
society.
your grift is you're going to get 7 kids to help you kill a bunch of people.
Yes.
That's a horrible grift.
There aren't a lot of good ones left. There's not like banking grifts. There's not like all the grifts the Sopranos did are non-existent in this world.
I'm going to say you're completely wrong about Jack O'Connell grifting. I don't think any of this was a grift. Other than the fact that when he found out that he wasn't Nick, that was the grift, him pretending.
Yeah, if he actually believed he was the son of Satan, don't you think he's like, man, my dad might be pretty pissed if I pretend. That's like, Satan also doesn't like false idols, if I remember the book right.
I don't think Satan...
Do you think Jesus Christ was a grifter?
Whoa,
Do
you
I-
going to get us canceled, bro?
Well, I think most of the prophets were
We
grifters.
can't do politics and religion. We're going to get canceled for
Why
sure.
not? It's all the same.
We're going to get 2 more 1-star reviews.
But also,
can I just
it's a
say-
different world, too.
Can I just say something, though, again, to that criticism? Because
Yeah.
it is pissing me off. Movies, especially one like this, that is the point, is to get us to think about these things. This is what humanity is about.
Well, you know what's funny? The moment we got that review was because we started posting clips about the long walk.
Right.
It's like,
I'm sorry.
don't see any politics in the
Movies-
long walk.
Movies, literature, songs, any art form
Yeah.
explores our political
Yes.
society.
All the best horror movies, every scary story,
Especially horror.
it takes what we deal with every day. It takes your real world, cracks that shit in half.
Yeah.
And what's important and what's very top of mind for everyone right now is the destruction of institutions. 28 years later, and Bone Temple collectively are the exact kind of movies to talk to this moment.
And Dr. Ian even has that moment when he's talking with Jack O'Connell about the before times.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him, like, the institutions were steady. The world had an order. And I don't it's been so long, I don't remember
he's like,
how
there
that
were
worked, but
upheavals, there were fits and starts, but you knew the center would hold.
the center would hold. You could rely that there would be some kind of gravity.
Yeah, the world itself would keep going in at least a seemingly similar way to what we've seen. But again, there's a lot of this in the horror community. But it's like horror does deal with gender. It deals with fucking prejudices. It deals with politics. That's every fucking horror movie ever made. You think Halloween is not a political statement about white flight to the suburbs? Like, people are so fucking willfully stupid. And it always comes from people who are on the wrong side of arguments, and they just don't want to fucking deal with it.
They don't want to deal with it, and then that's an easy way to say, well, you know, your job, it's kind of like the shut up and dribble argument. Your job is just to entertain me, clown. Like, don't try to embed any metaphors or any meaning into this.
No, and again,
that's always been the point of
even
art.
of horror movies. What's the most political subgenre in horror? Zombie movies. No subgenre is more political than the zombie movie.
The very first
Romero movie
is
political.
Why can I
Night of the
Living Dead. I kept wanting to say Dawn of the Dead, which is even more political.
And then Day of the Dead, they're all politics.
Well, Dawn of the Dead's capitalism, right?
You can see the zombies still walking through the mall. I do want to say, a scene that really stuck out to me was the first meeting with Jack O'Connell and Ralph Fiennes. Mm-hmm. It felt like one of those really beautiful things you see in movies every now and again, where like the undeniable, like one of the best actors who ever lives has a scene with a young upstart. And it's almost this like passing of the torch.
Jack O'Connell's 40 years old.
But he's so young compared to Ralph Fiennes.
That's true.
But you see that moment and you're like, oh, Ralph Fiennes recognizes an equal. He recognizes an actor who's ready to take that big, huge leap. Like after this and Sinners, Jack O'Connell's got to have a role in the next 3 to 4 years where he's up for an Oscar.
Yeah, I think
like there's no fucking doubt about it.
He has a good agent.
Because I've been on him since Skins when he was Cook.
And TV shows, dude. It was called like Somebody's Heroes, where he was like a British special operative.
Yeah, dude. Well, he had that movie Unbroken. It was Angelina Jolie directed, where he's like a POW.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And it was one of those, everyone's like, oh shit, this is when his like big thing's gonna start. And he kind of went away again for a while.
I think it was more positioning him as a leading actor, and I think he's much better as a character actor.
Yeah,
guy.
He's so good. I mean, again,
that's true.
As much as the Jimmies didn't do a lot for me, you take him out of that, and this movie's damn near unwatchable because half of it I'm not into. Like everything with the Jimmies without him doesn't work.
I thought they were scary and imposing. And
I guess I'm just not afraid of 12-year-olds. I'm like, I think I'd have a pretty good shot of killing one of them.
Once you saw what they could do with the knives, they were kind of scarier. But I think I agree with you. If you take it, like, especially that first scene where they're in that farmhouse, if you take Jack O'Connell out of that scene is
that's
horrible.
the point. That's what gives him power. He doesn't necessarily need physical power. He is a charismatic.
He's controlling the room.
Controlling cult leader.
It's my old high school wrestler. I just assume I could hit a single leg on him.
Yeah.
You have this argument on everything. You think you can whoop everybody's ass.
I do. I'm also a sizist with my Batman, because it's like when I watch Rob Pattinson's Batman, I was like, I still don't believe I could not.
It's ridiculous.
That's the thing. It took me 5 minutes to get out of my bed this morning because I have a bad back. But I'm like, I'd fucking kill everyone if I.
Jack O'Connell would fuck you up.
I'm also diabetic, so I'm not making it in any apocalypse. Just straight coke and orgies. That's my only exit strategy before someone peels my gigantic skin suit off. I don't know. But I was just like, if it was me, Sam, my friend Jamin, I was like, they're not coming into this house. I'm like, we got like 1,200 pounds of guys.
But also, no one's guard.
This movie too was really graphic and gory and gnarly. It was hardcore horror. Whereas
you know what's weird too? Not zombie carnage.
No, exactly.
Like
that's what made it
human on human carnage.
That very first moment though, where Samson runs out
and rips the dude's head off.
Great sound design. I did jump. That was a good jump scare that got me. Rips the guy's head off.
Well, dude, they gotta eat.
That was awesome because he was just sitting there with this fucking rock on a rock.
They gotta eat.
Eating break, dude.
It was more graphic than I was prepared for.
They cranked the horror up a ton in this one.
Can I tell you my favorite scene? So to your point, I don't think we recorded this, but Heath was talking about how he thought they held the shots way too long, like close-ups on people. My favorite scene of the entire movie was when the girl got the hook in the head. And you don't even know what the hell she's saying. She's just saying words, and you're like, what's going on here?
Like Samson, she reverted back to, it feels like, what her last moment was before the Jimmies.
Oh.
I think she reverted back to when she was actually a little girl somewhere.
Weird.
Because I think she said something about being in her bed. Right,
something.
Like,
I couldn't
Mommy,
tell.
there's something in my bed. Something like that to me is how I remember.
But you also didn't know what happened to her exactly. You knew something happened.
You saw the giant hook up there.
You knew something happened to her, but you didn't know exactly what, and it just held on her face for so long.
I think this is a near perfect movie, at least on first watch. My only nitpick is the cinematography. I thought it was. I get it. That's the point. That's
28 years later was exceptionally beautiful. That's the one thing I thought that movie did better than this movie.
Yeah.
The chaos of not knowing it. Well, also, I think the projector bulb was too dim, so that didn't help my experience. So maybe it holds.
You
up
had
better.
the classic Regal experience.
But a lot of shaky cam, too close, hard to tell what's happening.
There was an incredible amount of shaky, which I think that's the Danny Boyle thing. But I kind of was like, just put it on a tripod.
See, there wasn't anything in the cinematography that distracted me from the movie. That's always been a pretty integral part of the 28 series. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. And again, to me, the long holds are the best stuff in the movie. Yeah. When Ralph Fiennes and Jack O'Connell are talking, we just watch them. Him and Samson scenes are some of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in a horror movie. Even Samson, when he wraps the fucking cloth, he's like, Jesus Christ, I've been walking around with this fucking hammer out. He ties the little Tarzan knot, and he's like washing his hands in the river, just like looking, right? Like,
I love
that's
the
the kind
Samson
of stuff I love. Like, I thought the Samson stuff was so fucking good. And again, that's why I could have thrown, like, I just have no attachment to Spike. I couldn't care less about that little kid. He's a little fucking punk who, because his mom was dying of cancer and his dad was like, I'm going to go lick a different puss. He's like, I'm going to leave and run away. It's like, yeah, you get what you get, bitch. Now you're in a fucking Jimmy gang. Stop being an asshole.
Well,
like, I just don't care about Spike. Yeah. I didn't care about the Jimmies, but when Samson came, there was something there. Like, there was real meat on the bone for that portion. I was also
annoyed at how timid he was throughout the whole thing, because they sort of set him up like, okay, the whole point of that first iteration is this kid's went through the shit, just like little Jimmy, whatever his original name was.
I'm a man who can go out in the world on my own and find some answers.
And the very opening scene, which I'd love to talk about in Messed Up Moments, where he has to face off against the other Jimmy punk and then comes out victorious. I thought that was in an effort to say he can hang and something's going to happen to where he has to be heroic.
Yeah.
And he just sort of cowered and cried the whole movie.
I guess he had one shot at the end, but I was just like, God, that Spike character, honest to God, you take him just all the way out of the movie, which again is really pulling the only thing that ties it directly to the first one. Right. This movie's better.
Well, nothing would have happened.
This movie is better if you take Spike out of it. And it's just, because that's the thing. The girl had the exact same story as Spike, which is, I'm not sure all of this is worth it. I don't think that Jimmy's the leader he says he is. And she's just better. She just actually does things. She actually fights for what she believes in.
Spike was mostly just a catalyst, a device.
Yeah. Well, Spike got her to act.
For her character, exactly, and for Ray Fiennes to do what he did.
Well, it felt like a little bit of like, hey, remember the last one? You're like, no. Like, I don't care about him at all.
Without Spike, she would never have even seen Nick. Old Nick.
Well, even then, she sees old Nick, and she's like, yeah, it's definitely Satan. And he sees the bone temple, and he's like, tell her. Fucking tell her.
Yeah.
Let her make an interesting choice. Why the fuck is Spike in this movie? He is an absolute 100% zero. Me and producer Nick went to see it. He didn't even see the first one. And none of that fucking mattered. That little kid was a zero, dude. So not even Nick, that it was a bad performance.
You enjoyed this one without having seen the first one?
I thought it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, he loved it.
And I had not watched any of the other movies at all.
This was his first 28 movie. Loved it.
Jesus.
Which, again, goes to my point. Maybe we didn't need 28 years later, which in 28 years, no one will ever watch
Or 28 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have it in 28 months. Like, we skipped some steps.
I'm not saying we absolutely needed it, but...
You know what I think? They're going to do 280 years later, and it's going to be, like, set in space.
It's like, how did this
rage virus on Mars? Yeah.
Some guy bangs a chick before he fucking hits the port, and he's like, oh, God, no. Well, that's the other thing. This movie's also getting away from the whole... There's just these little things that I struggle with. Like, when he's stabbing the rage zombie with an arrow, he definitely gets blood in his eyes and mouth. Right? And, like, that's supposed to turn you instantly, which I thought they got rid of in the last one. But then we see the white-haired guy who's like, I got it.
Yeah.
He gets a little blood in him, and he immediately pukes his guts up and turns. There's just, again, it's just one of those, it's like, I know it's a nitpick. You're doing a franchise movie. That is an integral rule. The best scene in any single one of these movies is in part one, when Brendan Gleeson walks away, and he kicks the thing in frustration, and he's like yelling at the crow.
And it drops
and the drop of blood from the corpse it's eating hits his eye, and he's immediately like, get her away from me. I loved you, but get her away. Yeah. That's the best scene. And the fact that they turn that fast used to matter.
Yeah.
And now they just slaughter these things willy-nilly, and it doesn't.
It's almost an afterthought.
Yeah. Like, little things like that is why I was like, at a franchise level, there's all these, like, things that don't work for me. But at the core of this, you have this towering Ray Fiennes performance. And I will sit through and suffer whatever to just do that ride.
I just think they are going beyond the normal zombie movie now, and they're exploring other more weirder aspects of what could happen and exist in this world.
Right, but I'm saying, why add the scene of him stabbing the zombie with the arrow? Like, it doesn't need to happen that way. It's an integral part of the franchise. Just do better.
Yeah.
Just do better. You have one rule in your franchise that matters, and last one you added all this fucking lore that you have no intent of talking about or using in any interesting way. Just don't do the one thing.
Yeah, what happened to the little baby zombies?
Yeah, there's a lot of like lore in this, and I don't know. This could be
you know
the
what
start
I
of like many franchises.
The obese crawling zombies.
That's
we didn't have any of those. Yeah.
I think that got struck down on Twitter.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like even in the afterlife, we can't have body positivity. It's like, well, all right, I get you. Like if they had rage virus, you think they would be up and running a little more. I get it.
Or a little bit more mad.
I don't know what the calories in, calorie out is for rage
Look,
zombies.
these are snapshots, right, of a big world that they've made, and we have apparently another movie on the way. So maybe we'll come back around.
So that was my question. I was like, how many of these are we gonna do? Because I'll tell you this: now that Ralph Fiennes is out, why the fuck would I want to do another one of these?
Coming back.
I mean, I guess that's cool.
And you got the big dong guy that's going to be wearing pants now.
Well, that's the thing. So, okay, I don't know that Samson is cured at the end of this movie. That's not how any drug on earth works.
Yeah, the drugs might just wear off.
Yeah,
right?
you take one hit and you're just magically fixed.
Yeah. I think if you stop taking your Biktarvy, HIV comes back and gets
also,
you.
it's like none of these rage zombies ever accidentally ate a person who had mental health crisis and just got some of those drugs in their system by proxy and was like, hey, this is fucked up.
I mean, they might have.
Why am I eating this fucking middle manager?
They might have snapped out of it for a couple hours.
My feeling is that it was just a way to introduce that there is a possible cure. It's not necessarily that this is the cure.
Yeah, I didn't take it as that like Samson is fixed. I think Samson has this brief window of humanity left to send his friend off.
Well, and also now that the doctor's dead, like even if Samson is cured, Samson doesn't know how to remake that cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no. I mean, he's
It really didn't change anything, so I guess the memento mori at the end was more powerful in the fact that like you're literally the only person that's going to know.
Well, I think that's what this whole two movies have been about, is that maybe there's not a magic bullet that's going to fix anything. Maybe it is living for those small windows, right? Maybe it's because Jimmy Ma, or whatever her name was, found some bit of compassion for this young boy who should have been killed in ritualistic Jimmy combat immediately. And she chose to kill another Jimmy to save him.
Yeah.
And she was with him. And at the end, he stabbed Big Jimmy to help her, right? Maybe it's about these little moments, right? Of just them together. It's, the doctor and Dong Monster dancing together. That's all. That's what this is. That to me is what these two movies do when they're at their very best. It's those small moments. There's a scene in the first one. The only scene I could remember when I thought back about it was when the mom talked about that statue they had built, the Stonehenge-like statue. And she's like talking to her son as if it's her dad, I think, or her brother, whatever. And she's like, looking at that statue is like looking into the future. Like, we'll go, but that thing will be there, like Stonehenge. And it was just this kind of beautiful interpersonal moment. And I think that's what these two movies do great. I don't think you could argue at all that this is a great zombie movie. There's almost no zombies. Technically, there's no zombies, but there's not a lot of zombie action. This is a lot of human on human.
The zombie stuff's just the backdrop.
Yeah, it's the backdrop for a human story. So what I think is at the end, like Samson choosing to come back and honor this guy. He's not freaked out like, fuck, I'm not going to get my fix anymore, whatever. He's not worried about himself. It's just this guy gave him a gift and he wanted to send him off. And then he rips, Jimmy's head off as another nice tribute, right? He's eating his brains and whatever.
Wait, why do you think that?
What do you mean?
He ripped Jimmy's head off.
Because we saw him fucking bum rush Jimmy upside down
and
attack him.
When did we see that?
In the movie?
Yeah.
Right at the
No, so when Jimmy's upside down, he's like, and he walks away with the doctor. We see, because they're kind of panning around. You see the top of all the bone things.
So that's not what we saw. In my mind, what we saw is...
That is what we saw. I don't know what you missed.
So, in my mind, what I saw was someone comes and rescues Jimmy. And
him?
And Jimmy's going to be in the next movie.
I'm 98% sure that was Samson ripping his head off. Or maybe Samson pulls him off.
Ripping his head off? What are you talking about?
Because that's what Samson does. That was Samson, right?
Am
I crazy? That wasn't Samson's face?
He was the only other person there.
Just so I'm not completely crazy. What I saw at the end of that movie was there was just a blurry image and then it cut to black.
It was Samson.
No, it was
rushing.
It was a blurry image.
No, it was 100% Samson.
I think I wasn't totally sure either.
Why wouldn't they show that then if that's what happened?
I don't know. Because I don't think it's important at that point.
I don't think it's Samson. I think it's something else happened.
Why would it be a jump scare of someone saving Jimmy? Who's left to save Jimmy at that point? They're all dead.
Saint Nick.
Old Nick.
You think the action? Yeah, Saint Nick would be fucking wild. This movie's adding lore left and right that it doesn't care about. That would be fucking awesome.
I don't know, but something tells me Jack O'Connell's not out of this.
I'll tell you this. If you're trying to make another one of these and Ralph Fiennes and Jack O'Connell aren't in it, there is a 0% chance I have any interest in seeing it again.
I'm thinking they use it as a jump scare, and at the very start of the next movie, it's going to be someone slowly walking into the frame.
It is kind of like, man, we have to follow little bitch-ass Spike around for the next one.
Well, yeah, it's like, hey, do you want Spike and Cillian Murphy doing history lessons? And you're like, no, that sounds so uncool. That sounds so uninteresting.
I wonder who's going to direct it. Is Boyle coming back?
It feels like they'll get someone else. Like, it'll be like a bring a good director in. I don't know. I mean, it's got the mystique. If Alex Garland writes the script, they'll get talent. But you kind of shot your best bullets. We saw, and again, this is what I was getting back to. When you see the first movie, you're like, oh, all right, that was something. And then you see Bone Temple, and you're like, wow, that was a fucking waste. Now I've seen Bone Temple. I don't want to do Bone Temple without the two guys that made this movie incredible. Maybe we bring Samson back, but I feel like we've done the Samson thing now.
The world is big enough that we can go into a totally different story. It doesn't have to be as tightly connected as these two are. And I think that's why maybe the third film hasn't been produced or shot yet.
Right. It's going to be Danny Boyle again.
It's Danny Boyle back. Thanks, Nick.
And then they're going to get Tom Hardy in there.
Oh, I hope so.
All right, that would intrigue me.
Yeah.
That would intrigue me.
They'll get some big name guy in there.
He's going to be playing some other cosplayer of a British sex offender who has a gang. Like, I don't know. Oh, we're the Rippers. It's like, oh, that's the only one you can think of. All right.
These are great, clever filmmakers. I'm sure they have something up their sleeve, and it's going to be something that we could possibly anticipate, like a Teletubbies gang.
Right. But the thing I liked about this one is that the thing that made this feel unique in the world of a zombie movie was the Ralph Fiennes character. That was a truly interesting addition to the body total of zombie movies, right?
Yeah.
This idea of this guy making these bones, boiling these bones,
just
covered in
a guy
iodine.
That's like almost otherworld. Like, he's not existing in the same world because he's not trying to survive. He's actually trying to do something important. Or not,
he's
not even important.
It's monk-like.
He's trying to do something
very monk-like.
other than survive, and everybody else in this world is just trying to survive.
Yeah, there's something
it's interesting,
more grandiose about his ambitions, right? The Teletubbies gang I've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah.
The Islanders I've seen 1,000 times. I might not have seen that big of dicks in a zombie movie.
Never.
But like, I've seen a dick in a zombie movie.
I don't think we ever will. Probably.
The zombies that see demon faces, I don't think that means anything to me. But
that was a Black Mirror episode. I remember that. Remember the Black Mirror episode?
Right, but they weren't. Well, these aren't zombies either. See, that's the other thing. I get hung up calling them zombies because it's easy. They're not zombies.
No. But they were soldiers in that.
Right. Let's talk about a scene that we didn't get to yet that I thought was fucking brilliant. Samson on the train.
I was hoping we'd get there. I
thought
love that.
This was.
I did not
to
understand
me, this will be one of the 5 scenes in the movies that I walk away with really cherishing. What did you not like about Samson on the train?
Well, I didn't understand that scene because he was basically having a flashback, right?
Yeah.
But then the zombies actually appeared to attack him.
So here's the thing. So he goes back to the train,
okay,
which is a scene of carnage from part 1, right? So it's almost like he's going back to the crime. I took it as he's going to go back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe what we did here.
Really? No, it was the last thing he more or less
that's
remembered.
What I'm saying. That's what I thought it was.
He was like, I got to get back on the train.
And then he's going back, and we realize the reason he's the alpha in this area is because he was infected on this very train. So when he killed all those people in the first one in that train, that's where he got turned. Because he's a little boy sitting with his family talking. Some lady comes up and asks for the ticket. Her face like, demon face. And he looks down and he sees an infected shuffling up the aisle. Like, we know we're seeing the start of an outbreak scene.
Okay.
That was when Samson turned. He was a little kid. Like, we've seen this hulking giant the whole movie. That was his last moment. He's a little kid. He's sitting in the seat he sat in as a little boy when his whole world was destroyed. And the other zombies, because he's the alpha, are approaching kind of timidly. They're like, what's going on? He doesn't seem the same. There's this hint that maybe the opium's like taking away something, whether it's the scent, he's been washing himself, whatever it is. They sense something is different. And they're kind of approaching him. Is this food? Is this still our alpha? We don't know. And he looks up from the daze, and the lady's there, the zombie lady.
Yeah.
And in the dream, he's imagining, or his memory, where's your ticket? And he goes, I don't have one. And the zombies, upon hearing speech, like, rah! That's not one of us.
That's what it was.
Something about the speech cued him.
And you have the scene where Ralph Fiennes says, if you were able to speak, that would be a miracle.
A miracle.
The miracle happens. He cures Samson.
20-some years since any of these rage people have spoken a word.
His first sentence, and then that's the cue for them to attack.
Yeah. And he said moon, and that was the book he was reading when he was a little kid. He was fascinated by the moon.
A more powerful... Okay, so that's basically what I thought happened. But a more powerful thing, I feel like, would be like he gets cured, and then they just kill him.
No, well, I thought it was
so
cool
then
because
the world never even knows that he was
They're
cured.
not super-powered creatures. They're just normal. And all of a sudden, now you've got a 7-foot-tall fucking jack behemoth, and it's like, fucking bite me. Cool, I'm going to fucking snap your neck and smash you into the roof and break you in half.
He's now somehow immune to the virus.
He's immune now.
He's immune to the virus. Okay. He has the virus in him. It's just at bay.
But he's not,
and that's the other thing.
The thing is, he's not immune to all viruses. So if you get bit by like 17 people, you're gonna.
I mean, that's true. I got the COVID vaccine, and I still got fucked up by COVID.
Because vaccines don't cure the disease. People in the world need to understand basic
I'm just saying,
science.
when he walked into that camp at the end, there was not a mark on him.
His whole body's fucking marks and scars. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he had a bite mark on his neck.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He got bit up here.
All right, thank you.
But he was fucking these people up, and I was like, that's kind of cool. They
cool.
The disease has grown these giant berserkers that are now immune to the attacks of the thing, and it's like, that's a lot of bites to eat someone that big. That's a lot of fucking bites. Dude, it would take 20 people to eat his dick. Like, that's insane. He's immune to fucking rage virus combat.
That's a big meal.
That's what he does. He just fucking sits on the top and dangles it through the moon roof.
Uses like a baseball bat.
They try to bite it and they're like, we can't. And then all of a sudden he's just neck snapping.
I did think it was a beautiful scene, though.
It was beautiful.
I loved the restoration of this beast's humanity.
Yeah.
That was something that I wasn't expecting. I mean, that is a formidable monster in a movie. A zombie alpha. And then to use this opportunity to make him be a real character. Cool.
And again, what this movie did, while it amped up the carnage, there's a lot of graphic horror stuff, which again, I don't think added much for me. These are the moments to me where I was like, this is what these two movies did at their very best. The graphic, cutting the skin off and shit, like I've seen this in lesser horror movies that go for shock value. The Jimmy's whole motive and the charity, like it just didn't line up in an interesting way for me. It was a philosophy without like anything that latched
I needed a little bit more. I feel like the Jimmys, like, I get what you're saying about how they seem kind of like side characters. I wanted kind of more of a movie about them.
Well, they seemed like movie characters that couldn't exist in this movie.
Right. Yeah, that's what I needed.
There's no way that group of kids just survived this long.
How do they actually work?
Right, and that's what I mean. If there was like a bigger group, or Jimmy was something else, he was more monstrous than we saw, something that rooted them in it, that's all fine. The Jimmys were there to do the horror movie stuff. Samson, the giant monster of the movie, it reminded me a lot of the Frankenstein we got at the end of last year, where you see the giant monster and he's actually the most empathetic character in the film. Besides Ralph Fiennes, those two in tandem are obviously building each other's empathy well. But I was blown away with what they did with Samson. I didn't think I'd give a shit about that when it started, and they were just fucking like, playing Rio and dancing.
The needle drops were great.
It was so funny because I remember we took Steve. He went, so my mom was there, Steve was there, my kids, Nick, Krista. And Steve was fucking rolling when they're just high in the field. I was like, he's having a flashback to like high school. And he was rolling, and I was like, that's great. But when I heard him laugh, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, how are we going to do this for like another hour and a half? And they fucking did. Yeah. And it was great. And I think that's the Nia DaCosta touch, right? Just a really great director, really knowing where the story is.
I was locked in the whole movie. There wasn't any sag for me in this one.
No, it went fast. It was a fun movie. Again, I have a thing with the Jimmys that didn't work for me. It wasn't boring. It didn't detour me from, enjoying the ride. It's one of those things that bothered me more after I left the theater.
The Jimmy's ability to terrorize did not affect you much. I loved the ceremony of what
charity.
Well, charity, and then what's he say? What's that now, or what's that?
How's that?
How's that now?
Yeah.
This
like
kind
the
of
cult leadership,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jack O'Connell's brilliant.
The say and repeat,
yeah,
and then also just the way that their terminology is like. It's time to take off their shirt. Time to take off their trousers.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
You
know what they're talking
very
about.
British, yeah.
You know what they're talking about, but it's not so on the nose. It makes it scarier because you have an inkling that that's what they mean. I'm going to skin their torso.
Right.
But they don't say it directly.
Depraved acts with flowery language.
Yeah.
And I get that. And when I was in the theater, you are like, God, what are they going to show me next? But it's one of those things that works in the theater, the first viewing. And every minute I've had since the theater, you're like, that's kind of cheap.
Well, you just
that's
don't believe
bullshit.
that these kids could do this.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean. That's all I'm getting at.
They,
it's got worse in the day since I saw the movie. It worked in theater much better than it is now.
Granted, I came to this recording right after seeing the movie, so I'm pretty high on it right now.
Yeah. I think it was I think the Jimmies, as far as like that whole archetype of like the Negan, the big baddie.
Yeah. Well, this was also like evil kids.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of a watered down. Like you didn't get any depth into the Jimmies.
Well, weirdly, the scene when he talks about his dad and like, hey, can you tell me about the old world, this and that? I feel like that's what we got where I was like, oh, okay, I get Jack O'Connell. I kind of wish he was part of a normal commune and was starting to lose his mind rather than having his own little like fucking tracksuit gang.
So you wanted to see how he started more so.
Well, I just think there's a way to actually make him feel like he's in a zombie movie.
I don't know.
This didn't achieve
it worked.
for me.
He's the mutated side of the other side of the coin of his father, where his father was a leader, a Christian leader,
right,
a pastor, and now the son has become a Satanist. Given the
but it's in this cartoon like Saturday morning way that just doesn't work.
Well, and what did the fingers get out of it? You know,
like
that's a good point.
I kept thinking throughout the whole movie, I'm like this girl Jemima or
Jimmy Ma,
Jimmy Ma,
Jemima.
Well,
sorry.
It's not like they have to be too convinced. I mean, they are coerced, just like Spike is.
No, but I mean, like she's a powerful woman, right? She could just leave if she wanted to leave.
Could she?
She also seems like she could have just fucking murdered Jimmy whenever she wanted.
Like any cult, the reason that they thrive and exist is because they do provide shelter.
Well, but
they provide support.
The people in cults are usually super weak people.
Like, I don't see. Actually, I think I'm kind of torn on this because I think people you wouldn't suspect get pulled into cults all the time. There's 1,000 documentaries.
Think so?
Everyone who watches one is like, not me.
Are you calling Tom Cruise weak, bro?
Yeah, you calling Tom Cruise weak? He's the top of the list actor who's in a cult.
But he's the leader, isn't he?
That's true. Yeah, he has deliveries. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
No, but again, I think it's one of those. The other thing the movie did a good job of with the Jimmies is once you're in, there's no way out.
Yeah.
But why not? You could just walk away.
Right, but you saw Spike try to walk away, and the kid chased him down to murder him. If Jimmy Ma hadn't gotten
Spike's
him,
an idiot, dude. Like at any point,
Spike also sucks.
Also, dude, wait until 1 a.m. and then leave, and no one's gonna be able to find you. You're in the middle of fucking England in the woods
with a ton of rage virus zombies,
which apparently don't exist anymore. Because they're walking through. They're just like, hey, let's go find the Bone Temple, and we don't even see that. They just walk there.
I'd take my chances with the rage zombies, other than the Jimmies. Wouldn't you?
No, I'd way rather fight a bunch of preteens.
Put that wig on me,
baby.
I'm
just saying,
go.
Would you want to stay with the
Would
Jimmies?
I rather fight Samson or the Jimmies? I'd rather fight all 7 Jimmies at once.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't fight Samson. You just get him high.
Yeah, dude, that's true. Samson's coming at me, the Jimmy's on one side. I'm like, hey,
Dr. Eves.
What if I just start whipping edibles? Yeah. I'm like, and then I'm like, I am your new king.
If you had them.
Then I pull my pants down and they're like, you can't be
Dr.
king.
Eves bogarting all the good drugs, man.
You can't be king anymore. It's like, oh.
Yeah, the doctor did have all the drugs.
Yeah.
That doctor's badass.
Yeah. Okay, we got to get to one more scene. So the Jimmies are going to have their audience with Satan, right? Jimmy Ma killed the guy. They're going to go have Satan. Him and Jack O'Connell has said, he's like, hey, man, you got to help me out here with this grift. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking feed you your intestines till you choke. And he's like, well, that is a predicament. I don't want that. Great fucking scene.
Yeah.
I have to say, this scene went up 1.5 stars for me. When he's like getting prepared. And also I was like, God damn, he lit a fucking Ricky Martin level of candles.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I was like, where did he get all these fucking candles? It's incredible. He sets up this whole thing. He's been waiting
for this moment for
years.
He
has somehow like a leather fucking like furnace outfit. When he showed up and he's like creeping through the things and all the kids are like, holy shit.
He has the makeup.
Yeah, Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast starts playing.
Yeah, baby.
And he fucking comes out and he's like, wow! And he fucking throws the flames down. And you can see Jack O'Connell, because the kids are like, what the fuck? And Jack O'Connell's kind of like,
hell yeah.
He's like, okay, you went way bigger than I thought. And you see Jack O'Connell go, fucking A, let's go. And they're raging and he lights the circle around him. He jumps out, he's like, pew. And he's breathing drugs in their face. They're all high as shit. And then he's got the like, overhead press bar full of flames. I was just like, this is objectively the coolest thing I've seen in a movie.
He did say he was turning it up to 11.
Yeah. Oh, it was the coolest thing I've seen since Eddie Munson stood on top of that trailer in Stranger Things and played Metallica. I was just like, this is objectively cool. You can't say anything about it, and I loved every single second of it.
you bringing up the reaction from Jimmy Crystal? That's the character's name. Yeah. He had so many moments like that where his reactions just were hilarious. I was laughing my ass off through the whole movie.
Acting is reacting, and him just like, all right, you went away. That's what he's probably never heard Iron Maiden. Yeah. He's just like, Jesus Christ, this is incredible. Yeah. It was the most joyously fun horror movie scene I have seen in ages.
Great.
It was incredible. And it actually paired to a really nice moment where at the end he's like, Father, what are your commandments? And he's like, you know, you want me to go make more fist and do this? And they have to obey me without any back chat.
Yeah.
And you see it, and Ray Fiennes is kind of like, okay, like, yeah, just get the fuck out of here.
He's just realizing, hey, these aren't good people at all.
This is going to lead to carnage.
You can see his moral conflict as he's taking that.
As he's fought to save one life, and Samson's like, dude, I might have just killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
By doing this, and through the Slipknot mask, he recognizes Spike.
See Spike, yeah.
And he goes, Spike. And he pulls the mask off, and he goes, I have one more command. And Jack O'Connell's like, nope, I think that was it, Father. I wrote him down. Like, nope.
That's hilarious.
It was incredible. And he goes, like, you know, God required Jesus, his son, to be sacrificed. I require the same.
God,
he goes,
you know
you
what?
are my only son. And Jack O'Connell just goes, oh, you turned the tables on me. That
was such a Cartman moment.
Woo!
He was totally playing Cartman.
Like, you motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. How he just, like, goes with it, too. Like, he's not even thrown off. He's like, oh, you just switched the tables.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you rightly turned the tables on. And it's like he almost, it was like, that was the moment where you know it's a grift because it's a game recognized game.
Exactly.
And he's like, you sneaky fuck, you got me.
Well, that for sure was a grift. But then he just.
That was incredible.
So how he handles it is he's just like, well, could the devil live if I stab him?
Yeah.
And he just stabs him.
But then again, we get back to kind of the problem with the Jimmies, which is like, Jimmy Ma could just wax him at any moment.
And she does.
Kinda. And she does. And then Spike stabs him and whatever. And she's like, I can do that one last wish for you, though, Doc. And crucifies him. And he's probably like, Gauze, stop. Why are you crucifying him? Gauze, help me. Right? Like, that was kind of wild. That whole finale was fucking incredible. I think it's kind of a wobbly movie at times. Like, people are talking about this like it's the best movie in years. Like, the online reviews, it's like center level reactions that I've seen. Oh. I don't think this movie's anywhere close.
No.
I'd be shocked if this is in my top 5 horror movies at the end of the year.
I loved it. Absolutely loved
that ending elevates this movie big. And then Samson coming back looking like Satan. I thought they really hammered home the best parts of the movie with the finale. And the hardest thing to do in any horror movie is land your act 3. And they fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Yep. Great set piece at the end.
Yes, absolutely. Oh. So, Sam, what was the most messed up moment in 28 years later, Bone Temple?
Well, my favorite moment and the most messed up moment was the hook scene in the barn.
Ooh!
Because I did not see that. You somehow saw that coming, but I didn't.
Well, it was Chekhov's giant fucking hook by a pregnant lady.
I think I might have been in the bathroom when the hook was shown.
Yeah.
Really?
I wonder how many movies you watch and you're just bamboozled by because you pee 5 times a movie.
So that's why at the ending, when you were talking about him getting his head ripped off, I was like, did I leave during that part? Because I don't remember him getting his head ripped off.
We don't see anything, but Samson definitely lunges back into the camera.
All right.
But what about that scene was so shocking to you?
Just the total reversal of power dynamics. So she's above this guy talking about how you thought I was weak, you thought I was this.
That was fucking
this
red.
This dude's just like his life's about to be over.
She's gonna trouser him,
and then all of a sudden he gets this one moment. His wife or girlfriend or whatever hooks the girl, and the camera just stops on her face.
Yeah,
and she just is mumbling weird shit,
like childlike babble. Like, by the way. Then that whole scene just devolves into carnage. There's like fucking flamethrower, propane tank.
That was great.
Awesome,
it's fucking, dude, that scene goes insane.
But what was so messed up about it?
What do you mean messed up?
The giant
a girl got a hook in her head.
The hook to the head is the messed up part. Just the gore of that.
Well, I think it's the hard reversal of this guy. Like in his last breath, he's like, "Can I even get hard? Well, is she gonna have sex with him? She's definitely peeling the skin off the dick. Do you want one more good one?"
No.
And then she gets thumped in the head.
The messed up part would be like in most movies, right? The girl would just be like, "Oh," and then she'd fall over and it'd cut to a different scene. And this one, the director kept it on her, and he's like, "We're gonna make this last. We're gonna make her."
Yeah,
I
see. Nia DaCosta wanted you to sit with that moment for a long time.
Yeah, she's struggling.
Because also there's a moment where you're like, that Jimmy is kind of justified. Like, he did say, who's the tiniest little girl? I'm going to fucking murder her. And she fucking won. She won in ritual combat. And you get the sense that this girl's had to kill a lot of giant dudes.
It showed that the Jimmies are kind of badasses. Like, even the littlest one is tough.
And that was her whole point. She said, you picked me because you thought I was the weakest. And I'm going to show you that
and she's
you
like
picked
dissecting
wrong.
him, dude. Like, slices on the shoulders. Yeah.
And that really got me. Like, I didn't know. I thought maybe she got stabbed in the back, but then in my mind, I'm like, who the hell's stabbing her? Like, what's going on here? So it really got me.
So I'm glad you explained that, because that is similar to my most messed up moment, where you talking about it just sitting on her after the carnage that happens. I think the most messed up moment happened right at the beginning of this movie, where we see Spike is getting bullied around. He's going to be sacrificed by one of the fingers, and Spike, his only heroic moment, basically gets a little knife into this punk's leg.
You don't even see it. It's not even on camera, right?
Right, but the most messed up part about it is his slow bleed out.
Yeah. And dude, he's looking around. That guy's spraying like Kill Bill versus the Crazy 88's amount of blood for like 2 minutes.
It's just kind of like, oh shit, he hit an artery, and my friends aren't going to save me.
Yeah, the guy's just like, come on, guys, this isn't funny.
Yeah.
And Jimmy gets off the throne and he's like, nope, them's the rules. Ritual comedy. He's like, come on. And his buddy's like, come on, that's not funny. Let's go. Come
watching this poor bastard just slowly bleed out, that's
like,
messed
but
up.
Also, what could they have done for him? Probably nothing.
They could have put a tourniquet
you
on.
You could have tried anything.
Yeah.
You could. His last moments could have been, they tried to save me and I'm going to die anyways. He just watched his friends just look at him. And again, there's this whole, they're in the guise of Jimmy Savile, this fucking legendary sex offender monster from British history. They just pull the wig off him and just leave him in this pool
and
surrounded by blood.
Spike.
Yeah, now you're this guy. Yeah. You're going to get poked someday too. Ain't that a bitch?
It was a great initiation scene.
Great scene.
Still, just the idea of slowly dying that way is terrifying.
Well, also the fact that the kid didn't like lash out and be like, I'm going to fucking kill you for killing me. Like, he reverted to being a scared child. Like, in his end, he was a scared child. Once all the costumes and the visage fell away, he was just fucking terrible.
Because I say it's slow bleed out, but that's actually pretty quick. And you have just the reason it's disturbing is that you have just enough time to understand what's happening and that you're going to die. Yeah. It's not like Tim Roth in Reservoir Dogs, where he's laying on the floor with a stomach wound for hours. This happens in a matter of
it's like 2 minutes. Panic too, right? It's like
the panic
2
of
minutes.
Like, oh shit, I can't. The recognition. Oh, I'm bleeding. Oh shit, this is a lot of blood. Oh shit, I'm going to die. Oh shit, no one's going to help me. Yeah. And then you just slowly fade away. Oh God, imagine that happening.
Fucking horrifying.
Excellent opening.
Man, you guys picked the good ones. Weirdly, I don't know that there's a lot of other messed up moments in this. If I had to pick a messed up moment in the Bone Temple, I think for me, I'm going with the end of the movie, right? Which is Ralph Fiennes does this expert interpretive dance to become Satan. It's fucking rad. They're blasting Iron Maiden. They're all high as shit on drugs. And they're just like, yes, we love this. And when he sees Spike, the useless little turd from part 1 who's back again, and he has this moment of like, I got to save this kid. And Ralph Fiennes in his mind, this doctor who's trying to do no harm, is like, actually, I'm going to play the part of Satan fully and beg for Jimmy Crystal, Jack O'Connell's character, to be crucified. Like, Jesus, not even like a, hey, if you guys kill him, you can be my new #1 follower. He's like really playing the character. He's very method, which I would expect nothing less. And he asked him to be crucified, right? And I thought that whole turning the tables on him and using the satanic grift against Jack O'Connell was just this beautiful inversion. And it's one of those scenes where I'm watching it, you're like, I know something has to happen. And I was really caught off guard with how beautiful and simple that moment was. And then we get the Jack O'Connell at the end, upside down, crucified on the cross, just watching Samson come out of the fucking bone temple.
Slobbering and crying. Yeah.
And Samson comes out, just that fucking giant horns, huge fucking dick. And he's like, Father! Because he's just high as shit on opium. And he's just like, ah! That whole scene together, I was like, that was just fucking gnarly and wild imagery, but it had a ton of heart and earnestness. I just fucking loved that final moment.
Very satisfying to see this manipulator, this gaslighter, not be able, that's left powerless by the real force of nature.
Yeah. And again, it might go to my biggest critique of the movie, which is I don't believe the Jimmies could stay alive. There are just hard realities in the zombie apocalypse where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
And Jimmy finally hit a moment where he's like, well, fuck. Like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, somehow
I will
this guy
say,
made it 28 years.
I had half a Sam moment where this is another thing January horror movies are doing to me. Huh? There's so many dicks by faces in our January horror movies. The same way I thought that chimpanzee was cramming his dick in that frat boy's mouth.
You imagine that.
When Ralph Fiennes is just laying there all stabbed and Samson walked up, it's just terrifying. I was just like, don't have your dick so close to his face. That's not a dick. That's a weapon. Like, it just, like, wigged me out. I was just like, there are dicks, and then there's whatever the fuck that thing was.
Okay, so because it's so huge, this isn't a
Well, what if Samson was just like, mercy, and he grabbed some skulls and just, boom, and just fucking exploded Ray Fiennes'
In some
head.
states, that's assault.
I think in every state that's assault.
In most states.
Yeah, I think that's just wrong. But, yeah, there's a lot of dicks by mouth. That might be the theme of 2026 horror.
I hope not.
Sam's terrified. I can think of worse ways to die. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. I had some critiques of the movie, but overall, I think this is an exceptionally strong piece. I think it kicks the shit out of 28 years later. I love the fucking characters. To get two such performances in a horror film is astonishing. Like, when's the last time you had two performances this good at the core of a horror movie?
Silence of the Lambs.
It'd probably be Sinners, right? Like, before Sinners, when was that? Like, it's been a while.
I'm trying to think of two.
Because you had Toni Collette, but she was kind of on her own.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what I mean.
There's
There's, like,
some great horror movie performances. I don't know as far as two-handers
not
go.
in tandem like this. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is exceptional. There are some things in this movie that are exceptional.
Wait, what about The Substance? Demi Moore and...
I don't think Qualley was doing that much. I thought Demi Moore was incredible. So that's what I mean. I just think it's going to be one of those, like, oddities just for that. I'm a little unsure how much I want to keep doing 28 movies. I do think the mythology's gotten so wobbly at this point that I don't know that there's a lot of connective tissue for me.
I don't know. I'll keep watching them.
Me too.
Yeah. We have this podcast, so I'll keep watching.
I think they are exploring territory that no other horror films are able to do on this scale. It's maybe Sinners, but how often are we getting those?
It's mostly retread zombie stuff.
No, it isn't.
I think people are giving this movie a lot of credit for stuff that we've seen in a lot of zombie movies. Other than what the zombies see in this movie, it's all the same shit we've seen.
I think it's extremely thoughtful. As far as zombie films go.
We buried the dead.
That's just because you're old as shit and you've seen everything.
Yeah, but we buried the dead on a scale level is much different than this.
Absolutely. This is a giant set piece laden movie. I get that.
You know what I think? I think they should have called it like 6 days later. Then we could get them quicker.
6 days later, 6 weeks later, 6 months later.
Right. 6 years later.
Yeah.
60 years later.
That's a good point. 28's just a very arbitrary number.
That's a big number, dude.
That must be like a British month or something. I don't know.
There was that movie.
February.
Isn't that how long you're in? Fucking rehab. Right?
Yeah. 28 days later. Days. Yes, with Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, dude, could you imagine? You're like, finally, I kicked coke. And you came out and you're just like, well, now I'm starting again.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out.
Everywhere.
So it's kind of like, oh, rage virus. All right, we tried 28 days, right? No, okay, I guess we're in rehab a little longer. Yeah. We're going weeks.
There had to be some equation where they're like, all right, people turn in a second. What's the spider web effect? And after 28 days, England's gone.
We're at 280 days and he's still going.
Yeah. I don't know. Different calculus,
No,
I guess.
dude, Again, I don't think this will be my favorite horror movie of the year.
It's very early.
This will 100% be. I think this will be a top 5, no matter what we have in store.
After all the shit you just talked on this movie,
I didn't talk that much shit. These are reasonable criticisms of a movie that I have heard. Dude, I read 5 reviews that this will be the movie of the year. This is the best horror movie in years.
Well, unlike you,
this is the best zombie movie ever.
I don't read other criticisms before I come on the podcast. I like to make sure
I
have my own opinion.
No. I don't read critics' reviews where they're smart and could say things that throw me.
Okay.
I read dumbass letterbox reviews, right? Because then I know nothing will stick. I think this movie was exceptionally made. I think it'll be a top 5-ish at the end of the year.
It will be for me, I think.
There's some big glaring chunks in this movie. I think everyone's just fucking excited that we got such a good January movie.
It's a great January movie.
It's a great January movie.
You can't ask for much better, that's for sure.
No. I did like this movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5 despite some qualms. I think that speaks to the power of the filmmaking. That's it for 28 years later, Bone Temple. make sure you go to Indiegogo. Get the perk where you can join this very podcast. Help us get our movie, Mr. Cream Jeans Hidey Hole, a whore compendium, a whore compendium, out into the world. You can come talk about any movie you want. You can do a film festival draft, whatever you want. We'll do it. Thank you for helping us get our movie into the world. Go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page, the best way to help support and grow this show. Find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the good stuff. Find Misfit Parade there. Subscribe at YouTube. Also, if you have an idea for a film festival draft, we've got lots of them coming every Friday for this year. We would love to know what film festivals you would like us to draft. We'll see you next time.
Go Hoosiers, beat Miami.
Go Hoosiers!